What up, Nation? It's your boy Tommy SB, back at it for another edition of the Sunday Wise Take NBA DFS podcast. What's going on, Paulie? How you doing, man?
Doing good, bro. Doing very good. It was a pretty interesting conversation pre-story, GDP. I want to get myself some and organize my fridge alphabetically.
Yeah, you're an asshole, man.
I can't even imagine you doing that. Like that's great. Like now I need to get my hands on some of that stuff. GDP, figure it out yourself out there in the public. What's up, dude? How was the race today? I heard it was pretty interesting.
That shit was crazy. Like it kept raining. They had 2 red flags. Like I think 18 laps to go or something like that. It's starting to rain again. Jimmy Johnson goes for the lead. Wrecks the leader, and the leader takes out literally 90% of the field. There was only 3 cars that got through the entire wreck without hitting something. There was only 8 cars still running at the end of it when they called it for rain. So it was pretty wild. I was up in like 100th place at one point, and then it all kind of went downhill. Still mid cash, but it was it was crazy.
Yeah, that's what NASCAR is like. Like, wherever you are in standings, middle of the race, even towards the end, it really doesn't matter till that like final lap. And especially the races like the Daytona coming up next week with all the wrecks that are possible.
Those huge super speedways, restrictor plates, yeah, man. Those cars are so evenly matched. It's crazy. So. Yeah, man. So we got a big 9-game slate tomorrow, man. I guess what's your thoughts off the top of your head from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, it's big. Star-studded. We got Harden, Russ, Giannis has been ruled out for that was Saturday. We'll see if Giannis plays. It was right knee soreness. So I was ruled out Saturday. They did rest Middleton the game before. So I don't know if it's that serious of an injury or not. But if he's around, that's another stud. We got Jokic, Paul George, Karl Anthony Towns, Kemba, who's been on fire, Drummond, Griffin, the loaded slate up top. And not sure where we stand on the value, but as we go through, I'm sure we'll find a couple interesting options.
All right, man. All right. So I guess we can just jump right in, man, if you want to get to it. Start off at point guard, man. What you got over there? Up above 6K.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got Russ. I'm looking at DraftKings. What do you have, FanDuel up?
I got them both up.
Okay. Keep your eye on FanDuel, just, price-wise. But Russ against Portland, I'm pretty sure these guys played recently and had a pretty there's some animosity brewing at the end of the game. I think Nurkic tweeted and called Russell Westbrook Westbrick, and yeah, they played a pretty intense game January 22nd, so about 2 weeks ago. Russ went for 67 that day, and a motivated Russ is something I don't mind. He's 11-4 on DraftKings. I'll be interested in trying to get him if enough value allows. Kemba Walker is on a massive hot streak right now. He's 9-2. He's gone for over 50 in 4 straight games. Coincidentally, it's coincides with when Michael Jordan made a public statement about the Hornets wanting to make the playoffs. And he's just been super aggressive, and that aggression just kind of keeps growing. Over 20 shots a game with a high of 27 in his last. Over 10 3-pointers a game with a high of 17 in the last game. Also getting a high rate of assists, 10, 9, 6, and 7. I'm just going to kind of keep playing Kemba. I've caught most of this. And, he's like a nice pivot off of a guy like Russ if you want to upgrade at other spots. Dame Lillard coming in against Russ, not a very good defender. OKC plays extremely fast. All 3 of those guys are pretty attractive to me at the point guard at the top. As we scroll down, if if any of the Bucks studs are out, then Eric Bledsoe at 7K against the Bulls would be interesting. James Harden is actually like probable, so we got to keep an eye on that. If he's out, then Chris Paul will become major chalk and a very good play at 6,900. I don't mind Chris Dunn against Milwaukee at 6-3. He's been playing well. Milwaukee plays fast, and if like Giannis were to miss, then then that game would have a lot worse defense on the Bucks side, and playing at a fast pace, a couple Bulls could be in play. Continuing down the list, I think that's going to be all that sticks out at this point. I don't see Jeff. Oh, okay. Jeff Teague is 5,500. He practiced. He's going to play. What's he on FanDuel, Jeff Teague?
Teague? 5,600 on FanDuel.
56. Yeah, that's a pretty good price. I think he'll be back in the starting lineup. Not sure if Bayless is going to be around. Last game was Teague's first back. He played off the bench. They said they were going to keep him on a minutes limit around 20. He played 17, but he did close the game, and he went for 23. If we find out that there's no minute limit, I think he could be an interesting play. We like taking guys against the Clippers. So I like a lot up top. There's a couple decent plays in the mid-tier there, but I think that we're going to try to spend up at point guard tomorrow.
All right. So Russ is 12-1 on FanDuel and Kemba's 10K. Anything different for the two of them? The 10 seemed a little high when you said he's gone for like 50. So
yeah, I mean, he was 10 the other day too. This is a deep slate. Probably wouldn't go for Kemba at 10. The stars and scrubs nature of FanDuel, like, it's possible. I think I'd rather get Russ, but we're going to have to weigh the studs on FanDuel and see, like, usually you can get 2, maybe 3, depending on the value. And, position scarcity comes into play in that decision. Like, just right here, we have 2 guys that I like. I'd rather get Russ, but, like,
I lost your audio, man. I don't hear you for the last 2-3 seconds there.
Oh yeah. I just said, like, if you can get Russ, I'd take him. If not, like, Kemba's a fine consolation. But I think if you're like not able to get Russ on FanDuel, you'd probably spend that money somewhere else at another position for another stud. I don't know if like 10K for Kemba is going to net enough profit.
Okay. You said spend up, so I mean, this is clicking as we go. So I went with Westbrook and Teague so far. Like you said, spend up a little bit here, and then maybe I'll see where we can save some money as we get deeper in. So.
Okay.
All right, man. What you got down in value sound for point guard?
So Colin Sexton, since they got rid of Burks and Rodney Hood, he's just been getting incredible minutes and incredible usage. He's 4.9 on DraftKings. He's gone for 41, 37, and 27 DK in his last 3. 4,900. I'm sure he's a lot more on FanDuel. They're just way more aggressive, but he's had 30%, 22, and 27% usage in his last 3 games, playing 30, 38, and 42 minutes. I definitely could see going back to this well, especially against the Knicks. 2 teams definitely trying to tank. It'd be kind of interesting. Speaking of the Knicks, what was Dennis Smith Jr.'s price? He's probably back up, but just curious. They raised him to 6,400 on DraftKings. It's still viable. We like point guards against Knicks, but we'll see. All right, back down in Value Town. Let's see what else is down here. Corey Joseph did have a really big game last time. The minutes have been up against, since Oladipo went down, and now I think Miles Turner injured himself. I did see he tweeted that he was all right, but He is questionable for tomorrow. Corey Joseph almost went for a triple-double last game in 31 minutes. It was against Cleveland, but 10 assists, 9 rebounds, 10 points. And he's gone for 25, 35, 39 in his last 3, getting minutes and usage bumps since Oladipo went down. Don't mind him if he's cheap on FanDuel as well.
49.
49, yeah, that's not bad. Especially if Miles Turner's ruled out. That's probably it for the point guard spot. I don't see anything else that really jumps off the page at me. Oh, Jalen Brunson. He's been playing very well. He's continued to start since all the trades went down. He is 4,100. He's gotten 25 minutes or more in his last 5 games. He could be an interesting value play as well.
All right, man. So I guess we'll jump right into the shooting guard, man. What you got up there at the top, above 6K?
One sec. What's James Harden's price over there?
13.3.
13.3. And we're starting to see the impact of Eric Gordon and Chris Paul being back. Even in a very close game against Oklahoma City, he had one of his worst outputs in a while. Playing Dallas interstate rivals, I don't mind it. I think he's just going to be a DraftKings play or nothing, though, at this point. 12K, the price continues to go down on DraftKings. I could get that. I don't mind it. I think I'd stay away at FanDuel. I'd just rather go to Russ at 12-2. I'm assuming this position is going to be fairly deep on FanDuel. Let's see what else we've got.
Yo, I just jumped in the Slack, too. Did you see Brody Dole?
No, you won again?
4,400 on $122.
Wow, he won 2K last night, too. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job, Brody.
Brody, man, been with us for a long time. B. Dole. Man.
B. Dole.
Yeah, man. Heaters are a real thing in DFS. When you get hot, there's like nothing better. You feel like you're never going to lose again, as long as it lasts. It's a good time in life.
Get some qualifiers, man. Get some people at the show, the live show, man.
Yeah. There's still a bunch of seats for the DraftKings one. I think the FanDuel one closed.
Yeah.
Brad Beal, that's a tough price on FanDuel at 9.6. What is my buddy on DraftKings? He's been playing really well, too, since the trades. He's 8-8. Against Detroit, I have been playing point guards or scoring guards against Detroit a lot lately. It's been doing very well. Reggie Jackson and whoever they're going to start at the 2, just not very good defensively. I don't think you like. There's a ton of profit here. Detroit doesn't play very fast, but he's been performing. What's D'Angelo Russell's price on FanDuel?
86. I was just looking up. He had a 36 against Chicago and a 48 against Denver.
He's going to be off limits for me kind of going forward. Karis LeVert is back, and he's going to continue to get minutes, and he's going to take away. He's the best player on this team, Karis LeVert, and he's going to take away usage from Russ. Like, he's just kind of off limits. I was just wondering if they lowered his price accordingly at all. Going down the list here, Lou Williams is kind of dudded 2 games in a row, but the team actually played well last game as well. He kind of recovered back to a 28, just had a horrible shooting day, 4 of 15, 104 from 3. Still doing the assists, though, 6 of those. We know he's got massive upside at 6-8 on DraftKings against Minnesota, a game I think will be close. I could get behind that. Zach LaVine's been balling. I don't know why his price hasn't gone up, really. He's 6'8". He's gone for 40 in his last 2 and then 53 the third game prior to that, just netting you 6 or 8x value, depending which score. And, they just haven't increased his price. Playing against Milwaukee, going to be paced up. Just a lot to like there. He's probably like 8K on FanDuel.
78, yeah.
Yeah, rough. Different story, these 2 sites. If Giannis misses, Chris Middleton is 6'4" on DraftKings. I can get behind that. Jamal Murray against Miami. We like point guards against Miami. He's only 6'3". That price hasn't gone up. Like, he's gone for 40 and 42 in his first 2 games back from a short injury stint, like 2 weeks, and playing 32, 36 minutes. So he's right back into form. And 6'3" is just too cheap for him. Miami is on a back-to-back. They just played Golden State tonight, so we got to see how that plays out. Continuing down this list, Jeremy Lamb just went nuts the other day. Went for 53 points. He and Kemba are like the only options on this Charlotte team. Indianapolis, not a team I like. Indiana Pacers, I like to, attack with too many guys. I don't think I'd play both he and Kemba, but one of those two I think are going to be in play. And then Jordan Clarkson against the Knicks, that is very, very attractive to me. If not playing their point guard, who we just talked about, whose name is escaping me, Jordan Clarkson. Who? No, not Lamb. Sexton, Colin Sexton on the Cavs. Clarkson went for 31 in the last game and 38 2 games before that. That was against Indy and Washington. This is the Knicks, by far one of the worst defensive teams in basketball. Big usage increase since the trades. He's only 5'2" on DraftKings. Like, their pricing is so soft. It's sad. I could definitely get behind that. And then last but not least, Tim Hardaway Jr. is 5K. He just went for 34 against Portland. I believe he finally started that game. Yeah, he did. And, with that start came 32 minutes, up from the 26 and 27 in the first 2 games. Took 18 shots, 7 threes, only hit 2 of those 7 threes. Did shoot 50% from the field. At 5K, there's a lot of upside, especially against Houston, a team that's been getting crushed by shooting guards lately. So that's it. This slate is deep on DraftKings.
Yeah, 5,800 on FanDuel for Hardaway Jr. Still 34, it's almost 6.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And against Houston, like, that should be a high-scoring, close kind of game. Dallas is like the new Nets now. That they've had the most close games recently. Like, they're another team on the up, and Houston hasn't run away from anybody except even OKC. They're up by 30 almost last game and ended up blowing that lead and losing. And just not a very deep team right now, especially without Capella. They got no rim protection and began dominated by big. So I think that game should stay close. And at 5'8" on FanDuel, I don't mind that either. I know Clarkson's the same price now that I'm looking at it. Either one of those 2 guys or both are decent options. If there's no Giannis, then Chris Middleton, I think he's shooting guard on FanDuel too, probably in the 6s. He'd be obviously like a cash game, lock and load kind of play. But
65.
Yeah, wait and see. Yeah, 65. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. There's a lot of good plays today, man. There have to be a lot of this might be a multi lineup kind of day, huh?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, DFS is really multi-lineups as often as you can these days. You just very, very hard to win with single bullet unless you're stereo gimmick and you just bank $100,000 with one lineup. But that is, those are few and far between.
But we getting them.
Yeah. No, the nation's really hot lately, man. The comic book growing. V-Town, right?
Yeah, man. You want to jump right in?
Yeah, we will. We shall. Looking on DraftKings, if Harden's out, Eric Gordon, 4,600. That's lock and load. If Harden's in, it's actually still viable. I don't know if, like, I'd want to, he's safe, right? He's gone for like 24, 25 the last 2. But, without Harden here, I don't think there's a force. David Nwaba, strangely last game they announced like that he would have a minutes limit. Let's see what he played. Played 23. Didn't play very well, but the game before that played 29 minutes, went for 33. He's 3,800. I would assume there's no reason for a minutes limit this game after having a night off on the weekend. That's a decent value play at 3,800, especially against the Knicks. I would say you can go for mid 20s to low 30s and get you a nice 8, 7, 8, 9x. Um, Luke Kennard, his price barely went up. He's 3,900. He didn't start, but he played starters minutes, 30 minutes in their last game. It was the Knicks. It was some blowout run, but he played very poorly. Shot 4 of 13 and still got like 23 DraftKings points. I think he's got more than that, especially if he shoots a little better. It could get you like 30, 35 against Washington. Should be, extra turnovers for him to maybe increase his kind of score line and getting fixed up. So I can get behind that. What did Iman Shumpert do in his debut for the Rockets? Played 24 minutes against OKC. Shumpert, it's tough to really go play him now that he's on the Rockets. He did have a handful of ceiling games with the Kings, but I'm going to wait and see that kind of happen first before I jump on him. So that's probably a no.
Yeah, he had 13 against OKC.
Yeah, he's, on that team, he's, I don't think going to be involved offensively nearly as much as he was on the Kings.
I bet he was hoping, though, with Capella out and him being more of like that true like shooter kind of guy, that he would get more of a role, but we'll see, I guess.
He's still behind Gordon and Harden taking a million shots and Chris Paul. There's just bodies there. That's probably it. I mean, I don't see anything else really sticking out. Let me look on FanDuel, see if there's any punt kind of guys.
Yeah, Shumpert's still 45 on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's a no. Even Nwaba's 45 on FanDuel. That's tough. Wayne Selden is a decent punt. He's min price, 3,500. Playing Milwaukee. Played 25 minutes the last 2 games. Went for 26 the last game against Washington. Shot 5 of 13. Handful of rebounds. That's viable as a punt option for sure at shooting guard if you want to punt that position. But I think there's enough in the mid tier to play at shooting guard today.
All right. You want to go jump over to small forward?
Yes, sir. Let's see what we have here. So, we already kind of touched on Giannis. We'll see if he's available. If he is, against the Bulls, he's very safe. Feels like more of a cash game play than a GPP. I don't know how much upside he has. You'll hear Cash and DFS say he used to play Giannis all the time, and he hasn't played him much this year. And it's mostly because of the emergence of Brogdon and Brook Lopez, and then the addition of Bledsoe, that the team's gotten deeper. He doesn't need to do as much. On the road against the Bulls, you wouldn't think the game stays close. Let's see if there's a spread up for this game yet. No, I don't see one, but probably because they're waiting on Giannis. Milwaukee's been really good. The Bulls have played well their last 2 games, but it wasn't against great opponents. Hard to get Giannis. I think I'd spend the money elsewhere. Maybe a guy like
12 on FanDuel.
12, yeah, that's rough. I'll spend the 12 on Russ before I spent it on Giannis. What's Paul George on FanDuel?
11.6.
Wow. You keep raising that price. I've been doing this Paul George on FanDuel and Russ on DraftKings kind of approach, just the way the scoring systems works on those sites. It just, kind of fits. They're both been doing well. We've been able to play both in certain games. This could be one. I doubt that's optimal, but you could. And I think I really like Russ in this game, especially with the added motivation with Nurkic talking shit to him. But, Paul George, especially on FanDuel, I guess is an option. 11.6 is a lot, though. But we do like small forwards, Kevin Durant type players against Portland. So he's in the conversation on the FanDuel side. Next guy on the list is Kawhi, 2,200 cheaper than Giannis on DraftKings and 1,200 cheaper than Paul George. Playing Brooklyn at home. Brooklyn's playing the fastest of anyone in the NBA right now, so Toronto going to be getting paced up. Brooklyn turns the ball over a lot. This could be a really good Kawhi Leonard spot. As long as he plays, of course, because you never know when he's going to take a day off. Matter of fact, let's see if they have a game the next day.
What game did you want the spread for earlier?
Milwaukee, but there isn't one.
They've got it up on FanDuel Sportsbook at the Milwaukee minus 9.5.
Minus 9.5. Okay. Tuesday, Toronto. No game. All right, so we should get a. What's Kawhi on FanDuel?
99.
99. He's my favorite actually of these three pay-ups. Brooklyn just like the optimal opponent right now, and do you have a spread on this game? Around 9?
Which one?
Toronto, Brooklyn.
10.5.
10.5. Yeah. So, big spread, but like I've been saying all year, Brooklyn's been keeping games close. They're in the playoff race. Toronto hasn't looked great lately. I think Kawhi's very interesting. Then we take like a massive fall off a cliff, about $2,600 to the next guy, Andrew Wiggins. With Teague returning, I'm probably going to go away from Wiggins. He's been treating us really nice. And against the Clippers, you can go back there, but now the price is higher and there's going to be a body back. We know that Wiggins, unless forced to, he really doesn't mind doing nothing in games. So I think I go away from Wiggins with Teague back. If Teague's out, then we can go back here. And Covington is on his way back too. I don't know if he'll play tomorrow, but if he were to be back, was limited going through shooting drills during Sunday. Yeah, he probably won't be back yet. But as soon as he's back, it's just like Andrew Wiggins is totally off the radar. If Miles Turner is out, then we're going to have to take long, hard looks at guys like Thaddeus Young, and we'll talk about Sabonis at power forward. Young is 6'2" on DraftKings. If Miles Turner's out against Charlotte, a team that has no size, we would definitely be interested in that. Gallinari, this is going to be his third game back. He's 6K on DraftKings. He played 29 minutes and got a double-double against Boston, went for 39 DraftKings points. I would think the minutes are going to increase more. He's looked really good, like watching him play. And with no Tobias Harris, he's going to have big usage. Haven't seen that usage yet in the first two games of 19 and 20%. I think we'll see that get closer to the 30s going forward as the minutes increase. So he's interesting as well. Then you got Bojan Bogdanovic. Man, this slate is deep. He's gone for 28, which is against Cleveland, but they routed them. 46 and 34 in his last three. Usage in the high 20s, almost 30, taking almost 20 shots a game. 30 or 40% of those three-point attempts. We know he can get hot from three. Taking on Charlotte, that's going to pace them up. I have interest in some of these Indiana guys. We'll see tomorrow which ones are the favorites, depending who's in or out. You got Will Barton down there. Denver is deep. We'll see if Millsap is back. If Millsap is not, I do like Barton. I mean, he really has not played very well yet, and he's still been pseudo-performing. Went for 33.5 DraftKings, but played 38 minutes against Philly. I think at his price, he can definitely win you some tournaments at 56 when he goes for those 40-point games. And against Miami, they may defer to him a tad. Like Whiteside and company could give Jokic some trouble. Bam's got some size. Olynyk. They may depend more on Murray and Will Barton. And once Will Barton has one of those good shooting days, he does get peripherals. He could go for mid-40s and win you a tournament. Interest there. Do you have a spread on that game, Denver, Miami?
Yeah, I can pull it real quick. Denver, Miami's 10.
10. Another 10-point spread. Interesting.
Yeah, they're all pretty big tomorrow.
Miami, they played Golden State literally like just ended an hour ago. So that's a wait and see. We'll see who's available, who's not. But Miami played well against Golden State tonight. Tough to go into Denver the next day, traveling back to back into altitude. But we'll see. I do like Will Barton and Jamal Murray, though, from Denver.
All right, man. I like Will Barton, too. I was looking at it with 32, I think, on FanDuel in the last game. So, and then
what's his price on FanDuel?
54.
Yeah, 54. Like that's a really good price. So for a guy who can go for 40 and get you almost 8x, I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's cool. Closest spread tomorrow is the Knicks and the Cavs, two worst teams in the NBA. It's
trying to lose. Nobody wants to win that game. I think currently the Knicks have a lead on the Cavs for the last place spot right now. Which, did you see that clip of?
When you say a lead on the last place, you mean that they're actually in last place?
Yes, yes.
You're doing the reverse, like they're trying to lead.
Yes. Yeah, they're trying to get the worst record in basketball so that they can have the highest chance of getting the first round pick in the draft and drafting Zion Williamson, which is just, definitely boosted his stock this weekend. Did you see the 3-point shot that he blocked?
No, but
oh my God, it was just one of the more impressive things when you break it down. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, I've seen people do that, but when you actually see where he was on the other block when that pass reached that guy. So, like, the recovery time, the apex of his leap, he was, like, 2 feet over the rim. Like, somebody drew a line on Twitter. It was over the box that's over the rim. Mm-hmm. And, like, blocking a shot into the fucking 10th row, like, was, wow, impressive. Like, freakish athleticism on, like, a 260-pound boy that's just getting heavier. And, he's the prize this year in the NBA draft, and the Knicks really want him. They'll just be playing. That's part one of like the 3-step plan of the Knicks returning to glory, and winning that lottery is that's phase one. Bringing in KD is phase two, and then phase three is anyone else that we want to bring on, whether it's Kawhi, Kyrie, but they got the money for 2 max contracts, and we're going hunting this summer. It's going to be fun for a Knicks fan going forward. Enough on the Knicks. Everyone's heard me talk about the Knicks.
It's crazy. It's crazy, though. That's all it takes to take a team from being the absolute worst team in the NBA to being the champion the next year. It's crazy.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be championship, but it could. Like
playoffs at least.
Yeah. Down here in Value Town, like, I don't know what Jabari Parker's got to do on FanDuel to get his price raised, but he's gone for 45 and 40 in his first 2 games in the new team on Washington, and his price just hasn't moved. 3,900 on FanDuel. Like, that is he should be 100% owned tomorrow. Like, there's just, if he doesn't do well, you drop him, and more than likely he's getting you 10x. Like, it's ridiculous pricing. That's the must on FanDuel. Like, let's see what he is at DraftKings, because that's just it's very rarely do we have a guy cheaper on FanDuel than DraftKings. But I can guarantee that is going to be the case today. Here's the market. DraftKings.
$56. Yeah, lost your audio again.
Happening. Hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Antonio's been starting for the Knicks the last 2 games. Just pretty much Noah Vonleh played 33 and 25 minutes in those 2 games that he started, or he actually only started the last game. And getting rebounds, being peripheral on DraftKings. Go back. Anything 500. You like power forwards against Anna going to 35.
Yeah, I lost you again. Can't hear you again. I hear nothing, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Fine.
There we go. You keep. I don't know what's going on, man.
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if it's my end, your end. I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. We'll figure it out.
Check the chats, see if they can hear me. I guess that's it for Value Town. I don't see a ton down here. Let me look at FanDuel. I mean, Jabari's just such a must. I mean, you got Henzonia if you want a double punt. Henzonia and Kevin Knox are the same price. It's hard to click on Henzonia when you got Knox the same price, who's just gonna play unlimited minutes. I guess I would play Knox over Henzonia on FanDuel. DraftKings are about 1,000 apart. Those are the only guys that really stick out to me at this point.
All right, man. So we'll jump into power forward, man. What you got over there?
All right. So we got Blake Griffin up at the top at 9K against Washington. Very good spot for Blake Griffin. Not a bad price at 9K on FanDuel. Let's see what he is on DraftKings. That's like, man, FanDuel, like, they're aggressive on certain guys, and then, like, you know, I don't know what happened with Jabari and Blake Griffin, but Blake is 9K on DraftKings also. I like him in both sites. Lauri Markkanen is just been balling ever since kind of taking on center minutes. He's gone for over 40 and upwards of 60 in 3 of his last 4. DraftKings finally caught up to that, priced him at 8K. It's a fair price. I think I'd probably like him more if Giannis is out, and ultimately don't know if I would land on him. I think I'd try to find that extra grand and play Blake. And same kind of goes on FanDuel. Continuing down the list, we've got Kenneth Faried against Dallas at 6'8". All this guy has done is just produce since coming over here. Every game's been over 30s, upwards of 40. I do think he's got more in the trunk if kind of everything comes together. And against Dallas, a team with minimal bigs, could be a feasting zone for the Manimal. Don't mind him at 6'8" on DraftKings. They raised Bobby Porter's price up to 6'3" on DraftKings. I think he was around that on FanDuel.
6'4", yeah.
6'4", yeah. Like, you know, they might have priced him out. He could go for a little more for, you know, mid-40s, but I'll wait for his price to come back down before jumping on that. I'd probably look at one of, actually, I was going to say look at one of these Toronto guys, and with Marc Gasol there at center, he did come off the bench last game. That'll probably end in a few games. Against Brooklyn, you could look at like a Siakam or a Serge. Their prices haven't really adjusted to losing some usage, and I think I would rather play Larry Nance at 5'9" against the Knicks than either of those two guys. So scratch the Toronto guys. The slate's too deep. Larry Nance, wow, do I like a ton. We have to see if Kevin Love is going to play.
He's 7,100 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. If Love plays and how much Love's going to play will definitely factor into his decision. Love missed 50 games, and then they played him 6 minutes in his first game back 2 games ago, took the day off on the back-to-back. We will see if he is going to play and how much. If he's not going to play, I even don't mind Nance on FanDuel at 7-1, but if Love's going to play at all, I would assume it'll be more than 6 minutes this time. and I wouldn't play him on FanDuel, and we'll have to see what that is on DraftKings. If there's no love, I'll have Larry Nance on probably all teams on DraftKings at 5.9. Then Miles Turner, we talked about. We'll see if he's in. If he's out, Domantas Sabonis at 5.7 against Charlotte is a very enticing play. Is he similar priced on FanDuel?
Yeah, it's a little more expensive at 62.
62 still. If there's no Turner, we're going to like that. Neither of those prices are really high enough for the upside in the matchup. And that is probably all. I don't mind Otto Porter. He's 5,700. He's probably a small forward on FanDuel. Against Milwaukee, it's just I like Levine and Markkanen better on his own team, and I think the slate is too deep to do that. So scratch him too.
Yeah, Otto Porter's 67 on and small forward on FanDuel.
No way.
Yeah. All right, man. What you got down in Value Town, bro?
Value Town. So Marquez Chris started last game. Again, we're gonna have to see if Kevin Love's gonna play. He had a minutes limit. He played 24. It was 1 minute prior to the game before. So I would think if Kevin Love's out, we could get 30 minutes of him. You could play him at min price on DraftKings at 3K with Larry Nance against the Knicks. This is a real good spot. And this is a guy that's going to if he's going to get 25 to 30 minutes, he can go for 35, 40 DraftKings points on the regular. If you go way back to when he was getting those minutes on the Suns last year and the year prior, like he's got a lot of high 30s and 40s outputs. And the Knicks is just a phenomenal spot to go off. So if there's no love, we're going to be looking at Nance and min price Marquez Chris. Is he min price on FanDuel? Probably
not. 36. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty close. Yeah, that's a nice punt option if there's no Kevin Love. What's Kevin Love on FanDuel? He was 5K the other day.
49, I think.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the first game that he's going to play 25 minutes or more and
46.
At that kind of price, you want to jump on that because Kevin Love can go for 60 if he gets enough time. And that's coming. He's probably this game, the next, or 3 games away, depending on how often they're going to play him, how fast they rush him back from injury.
Are they on a back-to-back or anything coming up with this game?
I doubt it. There was only like 4 games on Tuesday. Let me see. There's 5 games on Tuesday, and they're not one of them.
Okay.
Continuing down here in Value Town. And I don't see a ton. What's TJ Leaf's price? He's got to be close to min price over there, right?
Yeah, he is min price 3,500.
So he played. Oh, he only played 8 minutes. Wow. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. But if Miles Turner's out, he could get a boost. So we'll keep him on layaway. We'll see. Before we move over to center, what are the two? And maybe they even moved Dwight Powell to center now on FanDuel. But what are Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell? Are they both power forwards still?
Kleber is power forward. He's 52. And who else?
Dwight Powell.
5,800, and he's a center.
Wow. Okay. On DraftKings, those guys are significantly cheaper. You got Kleber at 4.6, 4.3. I'm sorry, and Dwight Powell at 4.8. I could still play Kleber on FanDuel at what'd you say, 5.3?
5.6, I think.
5.6. Powell probably I wouldn't.
5.2.
5.2. Yeah, 5.2 is not bad. Powell's more expensive, and he's the one coming off the bench. I don't really understand that. And centers have been going to town against Houston, so I do like Maxi Kleber on both sides, but particularly on DraftKings. And that's probably it.
All right, man. What you got over in the big man's over there at center?
Yeah, let's see what we got. So up at the top, we got Jokic against Miami. I don't mind him. I like him in pace down spots. I like him in games that I think will be close. I'm not sure if I think that yet about this one. We'll see. Got to take a look at what the Miami minutes were like tonight. And like I said, I do like the guards a little better. I do think these Miami bigs could give Jokic some trouble. Maybe doesn't have the same rebound upside. Got to see if Millsap is back. So I doubt we end up on Jokic today. Cat is 10K against the Clippers. That is certainly interesting. As this team gets healthier, he will lose interest. But against the Clippers, with only probably Jeff Teague back, I think we can still keep coming to Cat in a supreme spot. I think the Clippers are the worst against centers in all the NBA, and Ivica Zubac getting 20-plus minutes at center is not going to improve that at all. Andre Drummond's just been on a massive tear lately, and he gets the Washington Wizards, one of the bottom 5 teams against centers. Him and Blake are in great spots here. If this game stays close, you could play them both. I think I favor Blake by a hair, but, man, it's hard to ignore what Drummond's been doing. Both these guys are very, very attractive tomorrow. Hassan Whiteside, I don't love the fact of playing him on a back-to-back going into Denver at an increased price, so I'm going to say no to him, but, man, like, his minutes have finally secured, and, he's been really impressive, and he's finally back into our lives, but not tomorrow. Then we fall for a while. I'm not seeing too much of interest. You could take a look at DeAndre Jordan at 5'8" against Cleveland. They got no size. He's gone for 33 and 38 in the last 2. Playing about 25 to 30 minutes. At this price, there's still some profitability, especially against Cleveland. But it's just like on this big of a slate, I don't want to play too many Knicks because they're so unpredictable and they'll do things that are the opposite of trying to win. And, DeAndre Jordan playing him more minutes would be the opposite of trying to win. So I don't trust it, but at that price, it is tempting. Same goes for Jared Allen. We'll see if Marc Gasol is starting. I doubt he'll start just yet. So Jared Allen at 5-1 on DraftKings. He's been playing between 25 and 30 minutes, and he hasn't had much of a ceiling just much recently, but he's gone for 28, 30, 31 in 3 of his last 5. Especially if Gasol's not starting yet, this could be a spot where we get that 40-point game like we got 2 weeks ago, or even the 60-point game like we got 3 weeks ago. And then let's see what we got in the cheap seats down here.
If you want real quick, Jokic is 11-4 on
FanDuel.
And Cat's 11-2.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not on Jokic, maybe Cat, but even that's high. But I can get behind Cat. But Ivica Zubac, I'm curious to see what his price is. He's 4K on DraftKings. Did phenomenal in that first game with the Clippers. Didn't close, which I was a little annoyed by, but that may come on a case-by-case basis. Played 23 minutes, went for 28.2, was 1 rebound away from the double-double bonus, which would have put him up to like 32 and, even closer to 10x. Like at 4K, I'm still interested. What's he on FanDuel?
39.
Yeah, I mean, that's a phenomenal punt, too. You can punt him and Jabari Parker on FanDuel and figure out the rest. I think that's going to be a nice strategy tomorrow.
Yeah, that's actually, I got that so far, so that's good.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't see much. Mitchell Robinson's really starting to come around. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's clutch right there. He's had 3 blocks in his last 2 games apiece. He's gone for 31, 26, and 29.7 in the last 3 at his price. Those are 7Xs. What's he on FanDuel? He's actually a better play there.
Mitch Robinson, you said?
Mm-hmm.
48.
That's tough. I think I'd play Zubac over him, but he has gone for, over 5 blocks a handful of times this year. He's had a 9-block game on FanDuel, that shit can add up, going by threes. You get a 6-block game, that's 18 points on top of the, 7 to 10 rebounds and 10 to 15 points he's going to score. The minutes are like, securing in the 18 to 25 range against Cleveland. He's appealing too. That's going to do it.
All right, man. So that's I guess it for the position by position. Anything else you wanted to run back into before we get to the top three?
No, I mean it's a deep slate. Like I always say, this is the night before. So much is going to change by tomorrow, so I don't put a ton of stock into, what we see here. But it is nice to have that reference point of like what did look good initially, and not to like totally run away from some of those thoughts. But overall, I don't look too deep because you'll wake up tomorrow at 9 a.m. and there'll be 3 guys ruled out that are important on the slate, and open up a whole world of other things.
All right, man. Yeah, I agree. So you want to tell everybody that's watching us on YouTube or Podbean how they can become a part of the nation?
On YouTube, Podbean, or wherever you're watching us, check us out. Come to the site. You can get a day pass, $2.50. Get you everything but the Slack chat. If you like what you see, then you can jump up to be a monthly member or more and get access into the Slack where the real life and heart of the community kind of exists. There's guys in there 24/7 chopping up slates, discussing good plays, bad plays. You almost don't even need us anymore. You can just exist in there. And, we put out a ton of content on the NBA side, other sports as well, but this is the NBA show. So we put out an expert poll. We put out my cheat sheet. We put out a cash game and GPP article, either written by Cash, Thunder Dan, BK, or Stevie Brown. We have, when CK's around, he won't be this week, but he usually does a core article. That should be returning in about a week or so. And we have projections up on the site as well. Tons for you guys to dig into to help build your lineups and hopefully have some DFS success.
Hell yeah, man. So what you got in your top 3 over at point guard?
All right. Top 3's point guard. I do like Russ. I do like Kemba on DraftKings, and I like... What's Jamal Murray on FanDuel?
6,900.
I'm going to go with Jamal Murray.
All right, man. All right. What you got over at shooting guard?
Shooting guards, we've got Jordan Clarkson. I do like David Nwaba for value on DraftKings. And I like Luke Kennard as well. There was somebody else that was 5'8" that we talked about that I know I liked, and he's slipping my mind right now. He was right there with Clarkson. You remember who it was?
No, scrolling down now. 58 was Bogdanovich. Or Dwight Powell.
No, we're at shooting guard.
Oh, Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway, yeah. Tim Hardaway, especially on DraftKings at 5K. I do like that too.
All right, man. What you got over at small forward?
Small forward. I like Kawhi a lot tomorrow. On first look, I can get behind Will Barton and then Jabari Parker on FanDuel, and I'll say Mario Hezonja on DraftKings.
All right. What you got over at power forward?
I do like Blake Griffin. I like Larry Nance, and I mean, if Miles Turner's out, it's going to be Domantas Sabonis. And if he's not, I will say we'll take a look at Marquez Chris at min price.
All right. What you got last but not least at center?
Center, Zubats I like a lot. I'll say Mitchell Robinson and Andre Drummond.
All right, man. So I guess that's it for us tonight, man. Paulie, good luck tomorrow. I know you'll be up in the Slack a little bit. You'll be up with the articles and all that tomorrow, man. Get the live
I'll be
stream
on the
tomorrow.
Stream with Joey. That's true.
Awesome, man. So, well, good luck, guys. And you too, Paulie, man. If you need anything, just let us know, man. I'm here.
All right, guys. Take it easy. We are out. Peace.
You did text Steve, right?
Yeah, I did. I did. You see him?
No.
Oh, he's got his thing off. Well, we'll hope he's there. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
He's about to get that.